Oh, Disturco. They might be talking about a foul right now. Oh, did that hit? No, it missed. It missed. Oh, Paul almost just shot a 3. You never see that.
He doesn't really shoot the
3. No, he doesn't because he's not good at it. Bayheim told him he was the worst white shooting boy he's ever seen.
Is that what he said?
Yes. Direct quote. Paul told me.
No way.
Bayheim goes, "You're the worst white shooting boy I've ever seen."
Oh, I think we're live.
Oh well, I mean, you call him a murderer every day on our shit, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, let's just keep.
Can you send that recipe in the graphics?
Here we go.
All right, so I'll need the graphic of the tip on IG.
There he is.
I need to get the link first.
That wasn't even Paul.
No, you're good.
Damn.
Yo, also, if you guys want on this TV, the Syracuse game did tip.
Can you?
Dude, that's gotta go.
Can you put that on?
CBS.
Do you want me to leave it on my desk or you want it there?
I'm gonna send it the graphic to you. Put it up on there. You know what I mean?
On my send it to my phone. Or send it to my laptop, whatever you do. And I'll send it to my phone.
No, you don't need to send it to your phone. Just put the graphic up on your laptop.
Oh.
So I can use it for live stream.
I got you.
Quincy.
Terrible shot.
All
Good.
right,
Yeah.
Jeez, that was not a good shot.
That was awful, dude.
Never want to be left with Quincy Gary putting up a 3 at the end of the clock.
You're gonna
Not
need this
necessarily.
too.
He ain't bad.
Well, I mean, he wasn't open. When he's open, he can hit it. But
Can you put it up? Is that the one I sent you? Is there not a video?
No, I could play. For a second, I thought that's what it was doing.
And one Dolzai.
Marek, baby. Just say no, Marek.
Roll anarhado. John Bola shot, right?
Dude, Ole Miss in the NIT tonight was such a lock.
Are they crushing? I almost took them.
They're only up 6, but if I knew they were playing, I would totally would have.
Grab that.
He's ready. He's amped.
Fuck.
Ow.
All right, my graphics up, and you guys will have the link in 1 second.
Braswell's in already. Griffin's out. Oh, that's a terrible. Okay, I mean he missed, but did you just see that? They just inbounded it straight to the guy who was wide open for a wide open three. They did nothing on defense. Off the end. Oh, that was a terrible pass.
Quincy.
you're with me now. And every time I wish you back, I really miss you with all my heart. Can't you just slow down and look back again? And every time I wish you back, I really miss you with all my heart. Can't you just slow down and look back?
This the pig vault. Gonna sit you down and listen to this real talk. Ain't no first or second option, this the default. Turning pigs into these dollars, gonna let them fall. Raining down these daily winnings like an aerosol. Analytics calculated just to win it all. Problems when it comes to choosing, we got all them solved. Got the that need him fixed, and you know who to call. Cause this the pig vault.
And he is right. We're live here on the Pig. Obviously, we're looking for people to call in today, and we're watching currently North Texas lead 76 to 67.
I can't believe you just said that score. I didn't know it got that out of hand.
It's getting out of hand.
It's getting out of hand.
3-0. Yeah, so pretty much we're going to start the live stream here and talk about pretty much what's going on across the board. Right now, Syracuse and San Diego State just took the floor. There's 15 minutes to go. We just got our first caller, so I think he's here.
G Wood.
Yeah, G Wood, can you call one more time? I know you're in this live stream.
Yeah,
so
you're listening. G Wood.
Please call one more time just because I missed your last one during the intro.
Matt, I think you might have a couple more callers coming down the line if you want to remind them of the number again, and then maybe throw.
I'll throw the number in the chat right now for everyone out there.
Hello,
G Wood.
hold on. Let's see if he's here. G Wood,
Money line is a loss.
G Wood, what's going on?
G
You're
Wood,
on
what's
the Pig
happening,
Vault.
man?
What's up, boys?
G Wood, how we doing, brother?
boys, we are doing great tonight. You just watch this game. First of all, San Diego State can't shoot the three. They haven't made one. Yeah, they made a dunk. Who cares? Q's money line is a loss. Absolute loss. If you did Syracuse plus 3, you're soft. You don't know what the fuck you're doing because Q's money line is an absolute loss. They don't know the zone, and we're just gonna win. That's all it is. Q's by a fucking million.
Hey, so I got a surprise for the two over here, and it's actually good. We're just starting the live stream for everyone out there. I'm gonna try to get this audio fixed a little bit. So I got a surprise for everyone out there. I got a surprise specifically for the two to my left, and you obviously here on the live stream. So hold on one second. I'm gonna grab one thing for these people.
G Wood, how we doing?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yo, G Wood, by the way, all right, I'll be honest with you. The one problem I have with Syracuse is exactly what you're harping, and that's the zone. If San Diego starts hitting threes, they're still going to stick to the zone. Shots will fall eventually, but to be honest with you, as much as I think San Diego State's going to win the game, I'd probably side with Syracuse with the points, to be honest with you. If Buddy Boeheim drops over 25 points, you got, there's a three-pointer. There's a 3 for you.
Yeah,
Garrett.
that's the first one of the day. They're not going to make another one. Not going to make another one.
I hear you, though. They haven't
Speak it into existence.
One for 8.
You got to just speak it into existence.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit before on the live show before. They haven't seen the 2-3 zone. They saw a 3-2 man scheme from an Army team. That's really not
Air Force, not Army.
Air Force.
All right. So now we're starting live stream, and we're doing this legit. So my question to you guys: obviously, we see Purdue just get the loss earlier, and I want people's questions obviously to throw in the chat if you do have any questions. But we see Purdue lose the game here. I had Purdue going pretty deep. How far did you guys have Purdue going, by the way?
Sweet 16.
Yeah.
I was going to say I had them going pretty far. I think a lot of people had them going pretty far.
So Purdue
Not that
officially
big a
just
loss,
lost.
like Ohio State.
Absolutely. So right now, here's what I got for Andy and Frank. I know they're big Cuse guys, but
It's going to kill their whole attire.
I wanted to make sure that they were rooting for a team that could win the game. So I got them both 2 shirts.
It's nice gear, though. It's a beautiful T-shirt. It really is.
So this one's for
That's
Andy.
nice,
This
dude.
is,
That is nice. That's
San
it.
Diego State right here. So here you go, Andy.
I'm an Aztec tonight,
Dude, that looks
boys.
really good.
Yeah.
I'm an Aztec tonight, boys.
And then for Frank,
Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi.
we got right here. So Frank, San Diego State. So when they move on the tournament, you guys got something to root for the rest of the way.
Frank, 2 things.
But I
One-
agree with everything you're saying. I'm all in on San Diego State getting this win as they currently lead by 2 points.
and they probably will continue to keep lead. And here comes another 3 for you, Garrett. It's coming. It's coming. That's all they're going to shoot.
It's not coming. It's not coming. Nah, look at this. That's not in. Oh. All right, that was it. That's
Dang.
okay though.
G Wood
It's okay,
was
though.
disturbed.
Do I sound disturbed? No, because Q's money line is the biggest loss of today.
So then would you say right now there's value in Q's right now then, down 5
Oh,
probably?
see that? Did you just see that?
I mean, that's the best.
Buddy buckets, baby. And one.
Lost.
I mean, that's the best shooter in the country.
Lost.
I mean, that's the coach's son. What else could you expect? Obviously, they're going to give him the foul call.
Okay, so here's my question. When Buddy Boeheim first came to Syracuse, did you guys think he was going to be anywhere near like what he is today?
No, because he was only really a knockdown shooter at first. His game's transformed, kind of evolved a lot more than what it was at the beginning of his time.
No, I agree with Andy. I mean, he was definitely coming in as more of a true shooting guard in terms of a shoot off the pass sort of vibe. But I mean, I think he's really evolved his game. Like Andy said, he's developed a little bit of a slash and able to take it into the lane. And he really does love that elbow jumper. And I mean, he's really effective from that spot. So he's really been able to play make. I think from that point to be able to get into the lane and feed out from there. Again, a lot of pretty good shooters on Syracuse. So I think Andy's spot on, but his game has hit another level.
Would you say that Joe Girard is the biggest probably hype star to ever go through Syracuse? Wasn't he was probably supposed to be the Buddy Boeheim of everything. Dude, he was like the best pointing shooter in all of New York.
He went to Glens Falls
Yeah.
High School, which is in literally upstate New York, which is just a bunch of farmers basically.
Well,
So I guess
Dan, Jim liked them.
Dan, honestly, like you, me, and Matt, if we played there, we would be the big 3 like the NBA had back with LeBron, Bosh, and Wade.
I don't know
Like,
about that.
No, I played with some of the kids that lived up there too. Like they were in my fraternity. They were kids that lived there and played in high school. They were all right. They weren't great. They were the best players in their team, and they were all right at best. If us were on the team and Gil played them, Gil would smack all these teams. Joe Girard would have put up maybe 4 against us.
Interesting.
Like,
Interesting.
He's a very good shooter. Don't get me wrong, but no one plays defense. Like you watch Jared Cena in high school. He just sat outside. Alex Matola, they sat outside, shot the 3 ball all day, but they weren't really good at much else. No offense. I thought they were very good players in their own rights and deserved to go to D1 schools in that capacity, but they didn't do much more else besides shoot the 3.
Oh yeah, complete. I mean, I agree. No knock to Joe Girard. I mean, he's the one playing at Syracuse right now. I'm here bashing him about it. So I mean,
absolutely. I don't like him either. I don't even think he should be in the starting lineup. It should be Qatari Richmond at this point. I'm sure Frank agrees.
All right, so G Wood, I appreciate you calling in. We'll have you hop on later in the episode because I do want to get you when Syracuse goes down a little bit bigger later in the game. So we look forward to having you on, G Wood.
Of course. Hey, love you boys. Keep fine, Millie. You guys have a great night.
Appreciate it, man. You too.
And thanks, G Wood.
Brendan, by the way, the pick vault. I mean, I'm not going to give exact address out here, but now we are located in Boston, Massachusetts, right in the Fenway area.
Yeah,
probably not going to tell you much more than that.
One of the questions.
He's one of my friends, Brendan.
Oh, okay.
I know. He's
good.
actually a mass kid. He thinks we're all fake mass holes because now we live here.
Well,
so he did want to come in and chirp us. He told me at some point.
Oh, that's fine.
I don't know. So Parlay King, Brandon.
Well, Brendan, I'll be completely honest with you. I'm definitely not a mass hole. I'm a big Yankees fan, Giants fan.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Yankees,
Because this is not a sore subject, but I just want to say something. People seem to have a problem with you saying you live in Boston for no reason. When you're from Boston, I mean, technically we live in Boston. We didn't grow up here. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm not a mass hole. I'm not saying I'm from Boston.
He said we sound like fake
Sounds
Boston
like- and I
people
know
in the
that-
chat.
No. A fake Boston person would say things like wicked and all that other stuff. I don't think I'm a fake Boston person. I'll consider myself a New Jersey guy for the most part. Born and raised.
So anyway, we're sitting here watching Syracuse and San Diego State. Obviously, Dan and I are all over San Diego State, and the two Cuse boys to my left are all in on Syracuse. And so, out of the base, obviously we know what Syracuse is going to do. You kind of touched on it, Frank, briefly, but we know that Syracuse is probably going to play this 2-3 zone the entire game, and it's going to take a little bit of time for San Diego State. It's going to come down to shooting, and it's going to come down to, like I said, making sure you don't turn the ball over late in games. And the one thing that Syracuse has a hard time doing, in my opinion, is increasing pressure if they go down at all, because playing that zone, you're sitting back. I mean, it's tough to really sit back and all of a sudden, stretch that zone out. And they try to do it sometimes, but sometimes it backfires. So that's one thing I see San Diego State being able to do today. And obviously, that's why I'm all over San Diego State. And I know you had a few.
I was going to say, the one thing about San Diego State, I just feel like this is also a team I know, again, the last time March Madness did go on, it was over probably a year and a half ago when Virginia won it. But when it got canceled, San Diego State was 16-0, one of the best teams in the country. So I feel like coming into this game, and I think actually Frank kind of noted it. This was a year where everyone that likes Syracuse, like you guys knew you were going to be in the tournament, when it's kind of usually the other way around.
Yeah.
So
it felt like it.
So I just hope for the most part that Syracuse, listen, at the end of the day, I do hope to see Syracuse make a little bit of a run in the tournament because that's an ACC school. It's good rep right now. Obviously, the Big Ten isn't looking too hot, but San Diego State's definitely going to give you guys a little bit of run for your money. And like Matt said, it's going to come down to shooting because you guys just let shots happen, like in the zone. So far, no hands have really been in any faces of the San Diego State guys. The mid-range is kind of it's not really falling right now for San Diego State, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, another thing to also think about when you play in the
Cheers,
zone,
Dad.
It's
Message in the chat. He goes drinking a beer, boy.
I mean, I will
Shout out
say,
to Mr. Knoll.
and I'll definitely have a sip. Thank you, Mr. Knoll, for chiming in. But if you think about it inversely, a lot of teams don't see the zone, but also
Yes, use the word inversely. I love it.
That was
I
good.
mean, when teams don't play against the zone, they don't know exactly how to play it, I guess you would say. So you see a lot of odd movement and things like that. So you've seen some ball reversals and some passes that maybe Syracuse wasn't looking for in, I guess, their defensive scheme. I mean, I guess there have been obviously some open shots on an inbound. I mean, that was a wide open three, but I mean, it takes adjusting to on both sides because, I mean, I would say both teams are a little bit unfamiliar with each other. Again, obviously from the Mountain West, this isn't a team that we typically play, but I mean, they don't play against the zone either. So definitely a little bit of a feeling out period.
What I'll say about this game, when I was filling out my bracket, I kind of went through it. And as I filled out my bracket, I realized whoever really wins this game is probably going to have an opportunity to make it deeper in the tournament. I mean, this is kind of one of those games where I think both teams are kind of underseeded. I know, Andy, you were all over that earlier, but both teams were underseeded. Whoever really wins this game is going to have an opportunity to stretch this one out and make a little bit of a run.
I definitely think so.
But this game's tough for both teams. I think if you're a Syracuse fan, this is tough, obviously playing against San Diego State and obviously vice versa.
I mean, and then the other game going on. I know this was a big split. All right, hold on 1 second. Or do you want the Syracuse game on this TV or that TV?
No, can we have it on the projector?
Correct. Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine.
I'm getting hit with a double switch right
I
now.
apologize for everyone out there. We were just figuring out TV situations. But the other game we have going on
We're clowning over here, everyone. We're clowning.
right now, Clemson is playing Rutgers. Clemson is up 3 with about a minute left. I know.
Not PBS kids.
I know it misheard me.
Come on, man.
I'm grabbing a drink. Anyone anything?
No, I'm good, dude. Thank you, though.
I don't know, but Syracuse takes the lead.
I mean, I know Rutgers and Clemson was I know for the most part, everyone was pretty 50-50 with that.
But it's fine.
What, Andy, I know, did you end up picking a side for the Rutgers-Clemson game?
I liked Rutgers, but I didn't like the line movement.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like it's one of those things. It's kind of like Drake yesterday. I know Drake ended up winning the game, but I guess the big thing for me is just, again, I kind of mentioned it before, just the Big Ten so far in general. I don't know if they're frauds.
Impressive. No, Big Ten's been impressive.
What do you mean impressive? Ohio State's out. Michigan State lost yesterday. We just watched Purdue lose. I mean, those are 3 teams that everyone had going to the Final Four.
Ohio State. Nah, I guess you're right. But
today's
throughout
the day.
the year, I mean, Wisconsin beating UNC.
That was big. That was big. I agree.
That was a game that no one thought.
I agree. Exactly. I completely agree.
That was impressive. I didn't mean the whole.
No, I know.
You are right though. Purdue and everyone else has been shit today.
And
you are 1,000,000% right. But I don't think the ACC showed well. Georgia Tech's out.
Oh yeah, Georgia
Tech's
Tech
out. Someone else is out too, right?
I guess my only problem with it is the ACC. I didn't expect much. I feel like everyone talks about the Big Ten. The only team down the Big Ten that I think could do anything are what, Iowa, Illinois, I think
Michigan
too.
Maybe even.
Because Livers is out now too for the tournament.
I know he's out, but you never know. They're a good team.
Do you think? Oh, again?
No, but Jesse Edwards.
My God.
Griffin. Oh no.
Big Ten are frauds. I agree, Ari. I agree. Nola's better than any.
Gilbert?
Nola's better than any player on Purdue. Well, Ari, I actually heard about. Is he on the pickup team? I heard.
No. Ari is the kid that was from California, not Brandon, not the OSU kid.
Well,
he's the one that goes to USC Law School. He was texting me earlier, telling me Ohio State sucks. They're trash. Liddell bum ass. All these terrible things about Ohio State. It was hilarious. I mean, we were having a great time texting about it. So
I mean, but Nola's better than any player on Purdue. I'm pretty sure Andy came over the other day to work, obviously.
I did.
And he said last night he played in a pickup game. And how much did you guys lose by?
We lost by 78.
78. All right, you probably covered a spread. You almost didn't cover one of those DraftKings specials, like you get 100 points.
Wait, I'm sorry. What? Sorry, Frank was showing me something.
No, you're good.
The spread the wealth. Yeah, we almost cover that shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. So if Nola's better than Purdue, I'd like to see it next week. But unfortunately, we won't see Purdue again until next
Ari,
year.
let me fill you in. I was playing with Moose for any Syracuse kids out there that were in Lambda or know me. You know Connor Burke, Moose, playing with his friends from home. We all kind of suck ass together. No one else really played. And I mean, we just sucked. These guys literally went, I think actually the stats showed 25 of 35 from downtown. They actually hit most of their shots from 3. They were insane.
That sounds like Tennessee today. That's honestly another game we could talk about. Like Tennessee, I definitely got blown out of the water.
Rocco wants the number.
We're going to drop the number here. Again, we're looking for live callers here on the Pick Vault. Again, for those of you guys that don't know, the Pick Vault is a smartphone application. If you guys are watching on the Pick Vault app, we're excited you guys are watching. If not, you're on YouTube. We're also happy here. If you can, go to www.thepickvault.com and subscribe right now. It means a lot to us, obviously. Or go to the App Store and download the Pick Vault mobile app right now. Obviously, for picks, player props, and score projections, brought to you by the artificial intelligence-backed computer simulations. That is the Pick Vault. So we're sitting here, and like we mentioned, we're watching the Syracuse game and back and forth. What's your gut feel after seeing the first few minutes of this ball game? After seeing kind of San Diego State come out a little bit hotter. What are your thoughts heading into the rest of the first half?
I'll take this. It's going to be fucking sweaty. That's all I got to say. Syracuse is known for playing close games. You saw Virginia. They played close games with good teams. It's going to be a sweat. I think we'll take it. I mean, Buddy looks good so far. If Alan Griffin and or Joe Girard can get going a little bit, one of the two, I mean, between those two guys, if one of them is shooting effectively, and then we have everyone else contribute, like Quincy with a couple points, Dolajai like they have been the rest of the season, I think we keep rolling, Frank, like we have been.
Yeah, I agree with Andy, and I think that it's important that Syracuse has gotten those 3 bench guys a little bit of run at the beginning. Again, Jesse Edwards at the end there with Kadari Richmond, as well as Robert Braswell getting in. I think it's important for them to get a little bit of run, get a little bit of familiarity. Again, on the defensive end as well, I think that it's a little bit of feeling out period. It's still obviously a very close game, but, I mean, again, like Andy said, I mean, it's going to be a sweater, and obviously that is as tradition, but I mean, I really do think we have this as well. I think that, again, we started off a little bit slow from the 3-point line, and I think that San Diego State has had their troubles from 3 as well. But I think it'll even out, and it's going to be a close game. But I like Syracuse here. I really do.
I know another big thing so far, at least in the tournament, I know the under has been a massive thing. I was curious. I don't know what the over-under is actually for this game. I'm going to look it up right now.
I'm pretty sure the over-under was like 138.5.
And we're on track for currently 19.
Ooh.
So I have to ask the question. My boy Raul asked, is Buddy Boeheim the best shooter in the country? Matt and Dan, I want to get your guys' opinion on this.
Buddy Boeheim
I know you guys are big
shooter in the country.
Proponents of the Boeheim family, whether it be Buddy, whether it be Jim. I know you guys just hate them to death.
I do not hate anybody.
No, I don't hate him. I don't hate him.
But
I want to hear. What do you guys think?
I think it goes either way. I think there's a few shooters in the country, and I honestly, on this Syracuse team, they stretch the floor pretty well.
Do you see that? He has scored the team's last 16 points, Buddy Boeheim. He has literally scored 16 of our last. We have 19 total, 16. That's insane.
Well, the thing about Buddy Boeheim that I think is underrated, to be honest with you, not only his shooting, shooting ability, but I think with the number, like his number one underrated stat is kind of the way he plays like a coach on the court. Obviously, having that, being a coach, you have an advantage over some of these other guys, and I think obviously he takes it to the next level, which is kind of huge. So yeah, I mean, I do think right now, left in this tournament, Buddy Boeheim's probably the best shooter left in the tournament right now.
And I think I'm just impressed with his overall character too, because I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure we all played for our dad at some point, but I didn't play for my dad obviously at a collegiate level, and honestly the biggest stage. So there always is that question mark: is it daddy ball? If anyone does, he has another son that did go to Cornell, so obviously Buddy deserved to be at Syracuse, or they would both be there for the most part. But yeah, I mean, the fact too, I think they all like Buddy Boeheim for the most part. It seems like everyone. They said in the game the other day, when he gets hot, they want to see him put up 30. You don't really get to see teams like that. Obviously, Buddy isn't the one with the ego. They try and hype him up, so I think that's pretty cool. He looks like a pretty nice kid for the most part. I don't know if you guys have ever met him on campus or anything, but he seems like a good kid.
I've met Buddy once or twice. I met him at a bar one time, honestly. And I've seen him around. He seems like a nice kid. Me and the boy back in the day, Pascal Chukwu, used to run it back.
Chukwu, he'd run.
I don't know if you guys watched Q's basketball.
Dude, of course,
Pascal.
Of course, Chukwu.
You were a Fairfield kid. He was Fairfield Prep.
He was Fairfield Prep. I did watch a lot of Syracuse because of Tyus. I honestly did. I had to break down the film a little bit.
Just want to throw this in there. Clemson hits a layup before the halftime break. They were up 26-23 as a 2-point underdog going in half against Rutgers.
To be honest with you, I really like Clemson in that game, and I picked them in my bracket because everyone's been all over Rutgers, and I think that's kind of bopped it back the other way. It's kind of a sharp move to come in late here in it, but I got in on it late earlier today. So I think getting in on it after all the bettors hopped in and took Rutgers. Was huge. And
I think also that side of the bracket too. Whoever wins that game, They play the winner of Houston. I know Houston blew out Cleveland State today, but I think Houston's also a little bit of a shaky team. No, who lucked out today because Ohio State lost was Florida.
Houston can win the tournament. To be honest with you,
a lot of people do think that. No, I'm not saying.
I've seen Houston play 3 or 4 times. Houston can win the tournament straight up. And to be real, they remind me a lot of Gonzaga because everyone has been all over Gonzaga the whole season. I just like the way Houston plays. I mean, have you seen Houston play at all?
I mean, they play really fast, and we saw that again in the second half.
They got a lot of great shooters.
They get out on the break, and that's a dynamic team.
Yeah.
Would they have to run into Syracuse? Because I couldn't even imagine that.
So if they met in the Elite Eight, it would be.
We got a caller here. Let's take it. Here we go. Hello, you're on the pick call.
What's up, guys?
Rock, what's going on? Wait, is it Rocco? I think it is.
Is this Rocco?
Yeah, it is.
What's going on, dude?
Rocco, how we doing, bud?
What's going on, bro?
Good, dude. My bracket's done.
What happened, Rocco? Tell us.
I can't see it now because I don't. Let me see. It was busted in the afternoon.
Who'd you have as your winner?
A little bit, yeah.
Also, you did text me. Did the Giants actually get? Did Giants actually get Kenny Galladay? Is that a true story?
I just saw an Instagram post that they got Galladay. I'm almost positive.
Interesting.
Well, I heard
Interesting.
that they had a meeting earlier in the day, and obviously it went well, but I don't know if it's official yet. I don't think it can be official yet, but I think from all the inclinations.
Yeah, I feel like there has been some rumors, but back to your bracket. You said Bama. You said had going all the way. They still have a chance.
Yeah, I like Bama. I mean, yeah, I was on I was watching the game against LSU, and they look good. They beat LSU by 1, I think it was. But
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, that was SC championship. Yep.
LSU's
hit it.
LSU is definitely a team to watch out for too. Honestly, I think they can make a decent run. But
All right.
Rocco, what'd you have tonight in the Syracuse-San Diego State game?
what'd you say?
I said, "What?" This is Andy speaking. I know we met back in the day, way back in the day when me, Dan, and Matt used to play some baseball. You were a little kid, so maybe you don't remember me as much. But
And he loves the little kids.
no, stop that! Stop that! That's fucked up.
Jesus.
All I asked was, do you have Syracuse or San Diego State tonight in your bracket?
San Diego State.
Hey,
All
he
right,
knows.
Rocco. Thanks for calling in. We'll talk to you
All
soon.
right, Rocco. We'll talk to you another time, bud. Bang! The Q's
Rock.
in the corner.
Let's
Rock,
go, Bob.
Let's go, Robbie Braswell.
when San Diego State wins this one, we'll have you call back in the second half, and you could talk back to Andy. All right.
Hey,
So
Rock,
currently the score is
Absolutely.
Rock, you can talk shit to me later. I don't mind, bud. I just like if they win, I just want you to say I love Syracuse on air. That's all I got to hear from you.
I hate Syracuse. Thank you.
There it is.
Yeah, you got to tell me the backstory. Come on, it's like a Hinge profile meet. You know, like guess the backstory to this. Why do you hate Syracuse? What's the prompt?
There is none. I just said it because you said you wanted me to love them, and I don't know.
Hey, man, that's fair. I respect that. Joe
Joe
Girard in your mother's
Bang.
Hey!
Let's go, Joe.
All right,
Q's up
Rock.
7.
Appreciate
Matt, Dan,
the
how you feeling? What's the zone doing to them right now?
The zone's going to be fine. Rock, I appreciate the call, my guy. We'll get you in touch later on in the game, hopefully when San Diego State is back in action. But, yeah, enjoy the rest of your night, man, all right?
Orange,
You
I
got it,
need you
boys.
to
Yeah.
scream.
All right, peace, bro. Thanks for calling, man.
So we got a timeout here for San Diego State. Obviously, like we said, currently a lead here for the Orange.
Hey, Ari, I'm really sorry that your dad left to buy a pack of cigs and never came back when you were 6, honestly, dude. He wrote that in the chat, and I'm really sorry that happened to you.
Do one of you guys, or Matt or Danny, if you guys have it on hand, do you guys mind just throwing the number for the call in chat? I think I have a couple of Syracuse guys who want to call in. Right
Yeah, for everyone out there, I'm going to say the number one time here for everyone again. And Dan's going to put it in there.
Yeah,
the number
put it in
is
there.
1-800-387-6355. One more time. The number is 1-800-387-6355. Please call right now if you want to be featured as a live caller. We are sitting here waiting. And obviously, like I said, we're talking about this game. I don't know. I am all over Syracuse losing this one.
I was going to say, so is Mr. Knoll. Mr. Knoll, I picked Q's tonight because our son sucks. He picked Winthrop also. Already picked Oregon State upset too. Mr. Knoll, I think we're going to have to get you on tomorrow because it looks like he's the sharp right now.
I mean, Dad, do you want to get on the air right now?
He's
I know
the
you're sitting in the
sharp right
basement
now.
probably drinking a beer. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're like, you're going down there probably like, oh, I'm not drinking a beer. I'm having a nice shot. The Buddha belly's going down, son. That's all he talks to me about nowadays when I see him.
Is your dad a Rutgers fan?
For football more so, because back in the day he used to be a Ray Rice kind of that Taekwondo Underwood, Mike Teal era.
Mike Teal, what an era.
Brian Leonard at fullback. He went to the Bengals. Then come on, you know
Out
that.
of all
era.
people, you picked Ray Rice.
I was going to say you picked Ray Rice.
Goat status on Brian Leonard.
Because realistically, you look back at it, who was the most notable?
I say,
Rutgers
who else are you
player
gonna pick?
during that time when they were literally a Rose Bowl team every year? 2 years they were in the FBS champion, almost in that championship.
Well,
Probably Devin
again,
McCourty,
I cannot believe, and Mr. Knoll just threw it in the chat as well. I cannot believe that Purdue lost that game at all. I cannot believe Purdue lost that game. And not only did I lose,
he was
a
on
little bit of
Purdue.
money on it, but you got to think about the fact that this Purdue team had a. I mean, they had a lead with like down the stretch in the second half. It's ridiculous. They blew it down the stretch.
Overtime should have never happened. They get blown out like that. Embarrassed. Absolutely embarrassed. You know what? Any team that's North Texas and their mascot's the mean green. I don't know if I knew they were the mean green. I would have never picked Purdue.
Reminds me of the Green Wave.
The green, yeah, and it's
Del
what
Barton.
Del Barton. They were good at sports.
Del Barton Green Wave.
Manuel.
Andrew Knowles.
Manuel? Yeah, that.
Hey, yeah. That's one of my boys in my fraternity.
He is a fraud, though.
He's accused. Yeah,
No, Andy's a fraud, not me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm totally a fraud, 1,000,000%.
Mr. Noel, I gotta know. Throw it in the chat. Who do you have
Manny, I
winning
love
this
you,
whole
brother.
tournament?
Messi sucks though. Ronaldo greater than Messi. He's an Argentine, so that'll hurt him right in the heart.
So 7-point lead here for the Orange. Orange in a good position. 25-18. 4 minutes to go in the first. And we'll be here throughout the course of the night. If they're going to watch the end of this game and then maybe can hop on the late game. I know we're all over it. But I wanted to take a second here and talk about Liberty. Andy, I know you and I were all going back and forth earlier in the day. I was all over Liberty. I thought they were going to win the game. Even before it started, I bet on Liberty, plus points. And I ended up covering the spread. But my question your way is, with a team like Liberty coming in the tournament when you're going against a team that, again, you're an underdog, what is it like to even play in that game? And obviously that there's got to be a little bit of satisfaction even in losing it.
Absolutely. Being a lower seeded team like that, being in the smaller conference, there's major satisfaction in being a part of that. And the fact that you were able to hang with a team like Oklahoma State that's beaten the likes of Baylor, Kansas, Texas Tech, Texas, West Virginia multiple times this year. Me and Frank saw, we were watching the halftime show. Oklahoma State, it was confirmed. I talked about it on our live stream earlier. They were the number one team in America this year with quad one victories. They literally beat the most top 25 teams this year. They were elite this year, Oklahoma State. So to only lose by single digits to a great team like that by 9, I know the spread was around 7, 6.5-ish, 7.5, depending when you grabbed it. But it was a close game. Vegas had it right on. Oklahoma State got it done, though. They proved that they're a very good team. I mean, Cade Cunningham, you guys watched a lot of that game. I know you guys were in and out of the room. Me and Frank watched a lot of it more closely than you guys did, but he didn't have a very good game today. He struggled mightily in the first half, having 1 point, and he picked it up in the second half. But besides that, he struggled mainly, couldn't shoot the 3-ball well. He was more of a facilitator today, and they were still almost able to win by double digits. So that's a good sign for a team that relies on one guy so heavily, or that a lot of America thought relied on one guy so heavily, and you could see Avery Anderson really pick it up today for him, and other guys like Isaac Likely or Bryson Williams and even more people, the Boone brothers,
Yeah, and it was definitely important for him to solidify himself as the guy, again, a potential lottery pick and hypothetically the number 1 pick in the draft, I guess, depending on who gets it. But like Andy mentioned, he struggled a lot in the first half, and you saw him struggle shooting the ball. And I think at the end of the first half, you really saw him start to drive the ball, get to the line, get to the free throw line, and make himself be a factor in the game. And again, in the second half as well, being able to distribute to the other teammates, I think it's important. And it shows you that, hey, this is one of those dudes. And although he may be the most well-known guy on that team by far, at the same point, I think that it's important for him to be able to distribute, get those guys involved. And again, it's something that was able to help them come back and solidify that win.
No, I couldn't agree anymore. Again, this was a game that you had to watch because you saw the whole story being played out, and that's why one of the reasons March is so fun to watch. And before we even continue, I'm going to take a moment here and just remind everyone that the Pick Vault is for entertainment purposes only. We're reaching the 40-minute mark here, so the Pick Vault is for entertainment purposes only.
The following media content is for entertainment purposes only and should not be used for the purpose of in-person or online, legal or illegal sports wagering or gambling of any kind. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. By continuing to watch this media content, you're accepting the Pick Vault LLC's terms of use, terms of conditions, and privacy policy located at www.thepickvault.com.
Okay, now we're back, and again, we're talking Syracuse, San Diego State. So I believe we have another caller that's going to be calling in the next minute or so, and we look forward to that. Again, if you guys want to call in, we'll bring the number in one more time. Oh, here we go. I think we have a caller.
Ooh,
Might be calling. He's from California, so
he's on that West Coast time.
I believe it. Hold on a second. What's his name?
Brandon.
Please leave your message for 3.
That's embarrassing.
I was gonna say I don't know if we should leave a message.
He called us first. Oh, here we go.
Phone tag.
Brandon, welcome to the Pick Vault. Oh, that was interesting again.
Brandon.
I think you can hear us now.
How are you guys doing?
What's going
What's
on,
going on,
Brandon?
man?
How we doing, my dude?
You know how I'm doing.
I know you've been
On the
better.
ledge.
And one,
So let me set the stage here for everyone out there that wasn't listening to our earlier live stream, Brandon was talking about Ohio State. He's a huge Ohio State fan.
He
loves Ohio State. And he pretty much told us Ohio State. He did tell us Ohio State was going to run the table and win the NCAA tournament.
Cut down the nets.
As we know, the Nets are not being cut down anywhere near Ohio State. And Ohio State was eliminated in the first round, kind of like Syracuse. So we're going to be sitting here, and both you guys are going to have your teams eliminated in the first round. But what's it feel like? So Andy will know in the same feeling soon. But what does it feel like, to watch Ohio State lose it?
I'm kind of used to it because every year we start out decent to strong, I'll say, and then end of the year we just crumble, like no matter what. So we lost like the last 3-4 games of our season. So I'm like, all right, here's the crumble that Ohio State is known to do. And then we play extremely well in the Big Ten tournament. So I'm like, all right, there's hope. We're winning this shit. I don't give a fuck. And then the same old Ohio State came and crumbled. And I'm like, yep, this is the familiar basketball team that I know.
Well, to be honest with you, my heart, I can't imagine how you felt, but when when Washington had that 3 at the end of the game,
he should have hit that.
He absolutely should. He hits that 9 out of 10 times, probably.
He was wide open.
Oh, that looked good.
That looked like that was
So, Brandon, my question
here off the game.
Oh, you continue.
What was it?
No, you're good. You're good. I pretty much just wanted to know, like, what went wrong. I mean, I know you kind of talked about the fact that, they let the lead go away, and they're known for kind of letting leads kind of go away. But my question your way is, what really went wrong? Because this team that looked like they had the game in the bag for a majority of it, obviously people thought they were going to go deep. You thought they were going to cut down the nets, and I know there were a lot of people out there with you. What went wrong for the boys?
Well, 2 things primarily. One, the biggest thing of Oral Roberts' offense is they shoot a ton of threes, and we seem to keep their shooters wide open. Like we didn't in the first half, especially. We didn't care to contest any of their 3-pointers. And then second thing was our biggest advantage was our size on the inside with EJ Liddell and Genty, and we just did not beat our game.
Yeah, no, so absolutely. So, Brandon, I want to ask you next. I know you mentioned in the chat that his name's Kyle Young, right? I know the last name's Young. Kyle Young, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you mentioned he was in concussion protocol. How much do you think that affected you guys today? I mean, I know he's been a big piece. He's a starter. He usually typically takes the big man, the best big man on the other team. He's a solid defender. He's usually your pick and roll kind of guy, pick and pop. What did you think his effect was when he didn't play today?
Definitely had an effect. I'm not going to use that as an excuse because there's still so much talent on the team that they should have had the W regardless. Yeah. If it was a later game, then maybe I would have thrown that in, but Ohio State still has the talent that without Kyle Young, without that energy that he brings, Absolutely. They still have enough that they should have done it.
Absolutely.
It hurts their chances, of course, but that's not the reason why.
All right, so Brandon, now that Ohio State's out, who's your next team that's going to cut down the nets? I feel like this could be pretty interesting. We could just call you every day and see what team's going on the nets.
I would say Michigan, depending on the status of Livers. If Livers comes back by the Sweet 16, then I'll say Michigan.
Fair.
If he doesn't come back, then I would probably go with Illinois.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's. I think that's my winner so far. I just don't know who's gonna stop Kofi. What we call him Cockburn, but Kofi for the most part. I just think the big men. And honestly, I thought the only guy that could really, I think EJ Liddell. Whenever he has a good game, obviously we see Ohio State do well, obviously, but we didn't see that happen today. But I honestly thought Ohio State in one of my brackets, I had them going pretty far. So it wasn't that I was against you, but I wasn't surprised that Ohio State just didn't show up. Big Ten have just been a bunch of frauds so far in the tournament, at least.
Not to interrupt, but quick, Craig, Syracuse is up 29-18 right now with 32 seconds left in the first half. I saw you write that in the chat, so just wanted to get you your update. Orange up 11 with 32 seconds left. Matt, you're good to go.
No, you're good. You're good. I was waiting. I was just waiting because I think we have another caller that just called in. But hey, we're gonna have to get you back on and talk more about obviously Ohio State because it's a big news that they're not in this tournament any longer. I know a lot of people had them. I was all over them. As I mentioned a few times here, I was all over Ohio State. Not only in my bracket, the pick vault had them going pretty far as well with our artificial intelligence. So again, that's what makes March fun. That's what makes this whole tournament fun. So again, thanks for calling in, Brandon. We look forward to having you back on. Thanks for calling the pick vault.
Hey, Brandon.
Can't wait to see Michigan cut down the nets.
Hey,
we'll see at
I
least.
just want to let you know I love you and I appreciate
It
you
would hurt
calling
to
in.
how you will cut down the net, but if they do, at least it's a big chance for you.
You'll be the first person we call.
Absolutely.
You'll
Thank
be-
you, brother, for
Duke
calling.
looks
I
good,
appreciate you. I appreciate you calling in. I hope we get to talk soon. And I'm coming to LA and we're chilling.
I didn't see him.
Yeah, anytime you want to come to LA.
Absolutely. I'll hit you up. We're going to a Lakers game when this shit's all over, this crazy pandemic.
LA is going to be the last place to allow fans, so maybe next season.
Absolutely. But you know what? That's a future trip.
All right.
We love you, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you.
I think he's gone.
Word.
Bang that. Oh.
So I just want to take a moment.
Syracuse played well, huh?
Yeah, we want to ask you guys how you feel right now after the first half.
To be honest with you, San Diego State definitely. I can't say they look good.
We got a second caller here. I know.
Oh, it's Krimsky, one of my boys, Spencer. He's from down in Florida.
What's going on? Is this quote unquote? I'm gonna try. Is this Krimsky?
Krimsky.
It is Krimsky.
How we doing, King Creamy?
King Creamy's doing well. Let's go.
I mean, I was gonna say,
now that it's halftime and we're up by 11.
I know. We're up 14. I think you're on a lag. It's 32-18 right now.
14. Maybe it was 14. I haven't.
He's watching
you're right,
one of those
14,
illegal
I forgot.
streams.
He's watching one of those illegal
streams.
streams that Dana White's gonna.
I'm watching on TV. I just can't count.
If he's
I
not
just
able to
can't
do the
count,
math,
that's all.
he's at a good point. I can tell you that.
now I've
I
had
just can't count. That's it.
and no, you got it, man. You got it. I know. I was gonna say, Krimsky, are you? Andy said you're from Florida. Is that true?
I am from Florida.
Would you say that? Were you rooting for Florida today, or are you just full on orange head?
He's a big U guy.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I'm a big University of Miami guy. So I don't like the Gators. I had Virginia Tech in the bracket.
All right. So did the three of these guys. Actually, Frank didn't, but
Me and Matt were with you, Krimsky. We were both on Virginia Tech today, so we were a little heartbroken when they fell through.
I feel like this is a year I follow college basketball like the most, and my bracket is probably the worst after the first game. I mean, to be honest with you.
Oh, I know. It was a rough start. I'll tell you. I started at like 40% or whatever. It was a rough start.
it's all right. Welcome to the club, man.
I guess Mr. Noel. We're going to get Mr. Noel. Mr. Noel may be the OG the OG pick master. We might have to get him with his picks over Andy moving forward.
Dad, you might need to take my job. I'll work for Michael Foods. I'll work for the egg industry for you, pal.
I like that.
Can
I get in on that too?
Yeah, I don't know. Ever since I've been following Noel, I've been losing money. So.
You listen to his tennis plays? No, he actually wins tennis though.
Tennis plays hit though. Can't shade that.
Nah, his tennis plays do hit. I give him that. I give him credit with tennis. He except the clay. The clay gets to Andy for some reason.
No, the clay's yucky.
The clay is yucky.
Dylan Blackman said his bracket's at 98%.
Yeah, because he had the mean green tonight.
No way.
He had North Texas.
Dill, we're gonna need a picture of that. Can we get that up?
Dill, we're gonna need to call in later. We'll call you later. But Krimsky, I gotta know. I want to talk to you. I know we're doing March Madness right now, but he's a big Miami Dolphins fan, guys. So I know Matt and Dan. Matt and Dan are huge NFL guys. Matt's a Panthers guy. He was a big Cam Newton guy back in the day, but he's also in the race. Dan is a Giants guy with me and Frank.
Hey now.
But Matt and you both your teams are in the competition for Deshaun Watson. So I want to hear your take on it. As a Dolphins fan, do you even want him on your roster? Do you have faith in Tua? What's the deal, Krimsky?
See, I don't want Deshaun. So I like Deshaun Watson. He's great, right? Obviously, he's good at football. I don't want him because we robbed the Texans, right? Like we gave him Laramie Tunsil and fucking Kenny Stills, right? And we have 4 draft picks now. Yeah. We have so many draft picks, and if we were gonna get Deshaun Watson, we'd have to give him back all those draft picks. And Tua's only had a year. So I say stick with Tua. Take everything you can get from those draft picks, right? We're going to draft another wide receiver, maybe another offensive lineman, and maybe even Najee Harris, whatever.
Yeah.
And so our team's going to be looking way better.
so we don't even need Deshaun Watson.
Dude, Kripsky's got me hyped up. I might be a Miami fan right now. I'm good. He's got me going right
Hold
now.
on, Kripsky seems so excited to tell that. Like he was telling a story.
Dude, he's from Florida, so he's got to be a major
once you said Najee Harris, I got excited for you. I mean, I would love to have Najee Harris over
Him and
Saquon.
Myles Gaskin in the same backfield would be unreal.
I like Gaskin too. And
hey, I'll tell you, we've been disappointed. Yeah, we've been disappointed for 20 years now. So the time to finally like have a potential to be good, I get excited.
Wait. You guys were great, and then you told Fitzpatrick to go screw himself, and then you guys started losing ball games. So I mean, that's what happened there.
I mean, that also happened, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, all I'm going to say is
Fitzpatrick's great. Everybody loves Fitzpatrick, but he's not going to win you a Super Bowl.
No, 100%. They should have let Fitzpatrick been the quarterback all year last year and let Tua rest, let Tua, get fully healthy, because one of the things, Tua probably wasn't playing at 100% at any point during last season, first off. And second off, Tua also was in his first year in the NFL. Go look at the Patrick Mahomes. Go look at the Chiefs. Go look at a lot of the successful stories in the NFL. Even Aaron Rodgers. They came in the league and they had a star quarterback in front of them. I'm not saying that Ryan Fitzpatrick's a star quarterback in the NFL. He's definitely not. But he's at least a good quarterback, a veteran quarterback that understands the game, understands systems. And I think if you had a guy like Tua that has natural talent, that obviously has skill beyond a guy like Fitzpatrick and can move out of the pocket, run the ball quickly, and obviously has the intangible stuff that Fitzpatrick may not have, if he were to learn a little bit under Fitzpatrick and not have jumped the gun, in my opinion, which is what the Dolphins did. A, I think the Dolphins would have been better off last season. And B, I think they would have been poised for this season, as you're kind of mentioning, Crimsey. All of a sudden, if Tua was taking the field for the first time, there'd be no question marks around this guy. There'd be no question marks. And right now, heading into the season, there's question marks around Tua. I mean, you can't sugarcoat that at all. He's your franchise quarterback, and there's question marks. It's the same thing in Carolina, and that's the only reason we're looking at a guy like Deshaun Watson, because we went out last offseason, and got Teddy Bridgewater, and everyone was all hyped about Teddy Bridgewater. But all of a sudden, we're 1 year later, and everyone's not hyped about Teddy Bridgewater anymore. And I think it's kind of the same thing in Miami with Tua. Everyone was hyped on Tua in the beginning. Everyone was excited. But all of a sudden, you start seeing him play, and there's definitely question marks. And maybe, he was in the Alabama system that seems to win every year, or at least every other year, and be competitive every year. Maybe it's the system. So all I'm saying is I have question marks about the Carolina Panthers, but I definitely have question marks about the game of a guy like Tua.
I mean, there's definitely question marks, and he obviously wasn't as good as people expected him to be in his first season. I don't know whether that's because it was his first season or what, or maybe the injury was bothering, who knows. I don't think we should give up on him yet, especially taking him at the fifth pick. You can't give up on a guy that early. But if you want my Crimsky exclusive here, I think the Panthers and the Dolphins might be doing a little deal when it comes to draft time.
Oh, I'm ready for that. All right,
I think the Panthers trade up and take a quarterback at the Dolphins spot at number 3, and then the Dolphins still get a wide receiver at number 8.
Who would you want as a wide receiver?
Me personally, I want Devontae Smith.
Fair enough.
I think him and Tua have that Alabama connection. He just won the Heisman. I think that'll help a lot. But that being said, I won't be mad about Jamar Chase. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to say, personally, Krimsky, I think I'd rather want Jamar Chase if I were choosing a receiver. But I understand the aspect of the whole chemistry kind of thing that you were talking about that Tua has with Devonta Smith, obviously, because they played together at Alabama. So I think either guy, you get a great receiver and you get a guy that can turn into a number 1 in the future. So I don't think you're going wrong.
Either way.
I would personally choose Chase. But if my quarterback was Tua, if I'm a Giants fan, I would want Chase as a person.
Dude, if I'm
talent-wise, who's better?
Waddle. I want Waddle.
Where we are in the draft, Dan?
I don't like Waddle.
We're going to get one.
Yo, I'm telling you right now, if the Dolphins had he just has to run straight and he's going to outrun anyone. And he's everywhere on the field, though. He returns punts, kickoffs. I guess really it's going to come down to, like you said, what's going to happen with just quarterback situation in general. Who did you want, though?
I know with the 4 QBs going in the top 10, it looks like maybe.
Well, right, yeah.
Who knows what team's going to end up where when it comes to actual draft day. I could see a bunch of trades happening.
Definitely.
Quarterback needy teams.
And I'll be honest, Crimsy, we're gonna have to get you back on when that time comes because
before you go anywhere.
No, he doesn't have to go.
No, before he goes, I got a question, Crimsy. Do you think if Syracuse were to win this game, do you think Syracuse can make a run? We were talking about it earlier, and you know, obviously you're intelligent about Syracuse basketball, but my question is, what's their floor and what's their ceiling? Because we've seen them play great, we've seen them play piss poor at other times. Currently, they look great. I mean, and I said this earlier. I said Syracuse has the talent and the skill and the coaching and the defense and the offense to win and win big, and they're winning big currently. But you know, what's their floor, and where could they go in this tournament? Say they play their best basketball, and they play their absolute best. Do you think they can make an Elite 8 run? Do you think they make a Sweet 16 run? What is the best case scenario for Syracuse basketball this season?
I've been saying, I've been looking at it. I've been saying, I think if Syracuse wins this game tonight, they also beat West Virginia next game, and then they lose in the Sweet 16 to Houston. That's why I've got them. I think they make a run to the Sweet 16 and then lose to Houston. But I think we match up well with West Virginia. I think I think this game right now against San Diego State is the harder game for us, and it's going well so far. I think we match up well with West Virginia.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
I think we could win that one, make a run. I mean, obviously at that point, anything can happen because it's like Sweet 16, March Madness. Who knows what's going to happen? But if I had to give an honest prediction, I think we win one more game and then lose to Houston.
Definitely. And going
just
back,
because so I was talking about this earlier. Syracuse is a good tournament team, right? Because none of these teams face the zone on a regular basis. So even if they prepare for it, none of those players are really ready for it. So who knows what can happen if a team just the offense just can't figure out how to play against the zone defense. That being said, we're not quite good enough to make a big run, I don't think.
Yeah, the only problem that I see them coming into, and again, this is the reason they have a floor, in my opinion, is the fact that they play that zone, they don't shift. Because if a team can shoot the ball well,
kill you,
and a team can run the floor well, and I think West Virginia, even though yes, you're right, they have the potential, you have the potential, Syracuse has the potential to play with and maybe even beat a team like a West Virginia. But all I'm going to say is, if they shoot the ball well, you're screwed. If they run the floor well, you're screwed. And I think right now, this game is far from over. I'm not saying Syracuse will lose it, but I said it earlier to you guys, and I kind of was spot on about the free throws. Is Syracuse, other than Buddy Boeheim, is Syracuse a good free throw? And I don't know the answer. That's why I'm asking you. Is Syracuse a good free throw
Joe Girard is one of the best free throw shooters in the ACC.
Thank
He's
God.
Close to 90%, I'm pretty sure. Allen Griffin, I'm pretty sure, and Guerrier and Dolajai are all pretty good shooters, honestly, too, from the line. They're all above 70.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I think we're either first or second in the conference in the
we're one of the
ACC
top
in
ACC
field goal
shooting schools,
percentage.
and,
I think we were at 78%, 79% as a team, which is incredible. I mean, the number one team in Division I, again, obviously free throws are free only if you make them. I'm pretty sure that whoever was number one, I'm pretty sure they played today, I forget who they were, shoots 82% as a team.
It might have been Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech shoots 82%.
Right, and I mean, it sounds crazy, 82%. I mean, that's not that great, but I mean, it's a team.
Just shows
as a team, that's good.
that just shows you how bad some teams are out there too.
Krimsky, one more thing before
you guys have been watching. You guys have been watching the game.
Yeah.
You see it now. San Diego State's just they can't figure it out. They're chucking up pretty bad threes, right? They're not good shots, right? They're deep. They're way off.
They're
the
definitely
mark.
struggling from deep right now.
They almost look like two. They sit there in the zone. They're almost too open, and then they kind of just miss the wide open shots. They get nervous. But what Matt was saying too, West Virginia, the only thing you got to worry about, if I'm going up against Syracuse, I want to run the ball as fast as possible because I don't want you guys to set up in a zone whatsoever. I got to tire you guys out.
Exactly.
And that's what I thought that's what San Diego State was going to do. But obviously not yet, at least. They've been letting them set up completely.
Not the case so far.
Yeah, we're going to find out what happens in the second half.
Halftime. I mean, that's crazy. 18 points over 20 minutes.
But we've seen what happened so far this tournament. The team that is winning at halftime doesn't always work out for them in the end, but I guess we're going to find out soon enough. We're gonna find out soon enough. I'm sure it's gonna come down to the wire. I feel like all of these games really have. Even this Nova game, Villanova was dominating. It's 21-20 right now. They're playing Winthrop. It's getting close. I'm sure it's gonna come down the wire again. Another Villanova team. They're gonna struggle to score. I feel like all tournament. I know that's why a lot of people are on Winthrop. Just too many injuries. So
absolutely. King Creamy, not to cut you off, Dan.
No, you're good.
I want to get to one more question before we potentially let you go because I believe we have other callers coming in. Matt mentioned one guy in the chat. he said Cam, as in Cam Newton, greater than Tua Tagovailoa. What are your thoughts? I want a response.
Not now, he's not. Or maybe MVP Cam, maybe. But if you've seen Cam Newton play over the past year or two, he's nowhere near what he was. He's nowhere near what Tua is going to be.
Well, here's a fair question.
I mean, you can't throw the ball more than 10 yards. You can't throw the ball more than 10 yards.
Matt's a big Panthers guy, so he will give you a full response to this because he's
I'm going to
Cam Newton a lot.
I'm going to be honest. I
like Cam Newton. I think Cam Newton's good, right? I like him, and I think he can be good. Now, obviously, like everybody's seen it. Like he's obviously talented and skilled enough, but for whatever reason it is, he's lost like 90% of his accuracy.
Yeah, no, I agree. And one of the things I will say about that, and that's one thing you got to worry about with a guy like Tua, is this. When he came into the league, Cam Newton played the game like a football player. He came in the league and he ran hard. He came in the league and he gave it his all. And Cam Newton's giving it his all now. But the problem is, once Cam Newton signed that long-term contract with the Carolina Panthers, and he signed that big deal with the Carolina Panthers, if you remember, it was one of the bigger deals at the time. The Panthers lost and got second place and lost to the Broncos in the Super Bowl that year. And what I'll say is that was the reason Cam Newton's career is where it is today. Him losing that Super Bowl, being in that Super Bowl, and the Panthers believing in him moving forward is what is the reason Cam Newton is not where he should be today. And I think it goes back to the fact that the Panthers put so much money into him at the time. Back then, now it's considered no money, but the Panthers put in so much money to him at the time. They were trying to protect their investment, and they made him slide. And they made Cam Newton try to become a pocket passer, and that's why he got injured at the end of the day, because he wasn't running the same way Cam was running in the beginning of his career. And he wasn't taking the risks. And obviously, you got to walk that line with a guy like Tua, because we've seen it throughout times. Even these guys that are good for a year or two, RG3 is a perfect example. A guy that can get to the playoffs, a guy that can win games and kind of shock the league. All of a sudden, you got to let them be them. And if you don't, and you start to try to protect him, which is what at the time the Redskins, now the Washington football team, the Redskins were doing, which was they started to protect him, and he got hurt. And we've seen it even with Mariota and the Titans 2 years ago. Mariota was decent for a year. He was never as good as Cam Newton or even RG3 was, but Mariota played well for the Titans 2 years ago. And then you see him all of a sudden, they start to protect their investment. And all of a sudden that's when, he can't play the same style of football. That maybe is the reason you got a guy like Cam Newton or you get a guy like Tua Tagovailoa. So I hope that we see, obviously, Tua come back healthy, and I hope we see him, obviously, have a long-lasting career. The last question I'll give you before he lets you off air, you said Tua is better than Cam today. Do you think when it's all said and done, Tua will be a better quarterback? And don't give me the Dolphins bullshit answer. Give me the truthful answer. Do you think, Drew, and it could be yes. I mean, for me, I don't know the answer yet, but do you think Tua is going to be better than Cam Newton when it's all said and done?
I mean, honestly, I don't think I know the answer to that. I don't want to give a bullshit Dolphins. Obviously, like you said, I don't want to give a bullshit Dolphins answer. But what I will say is, this year is obviously the test for Tua, and I think that it's pretty clear. If you I don't know how much you guys watch Dolphin football, but if you watch, it's been pretty clear that Tua hasn't unleashed himself. You know what I mean? He's still scared. So the reason, this is going to get deep real fast, but the reason why Tua doesn't like Devontae Parker, right, is because Devontae Parker doesn't really get open. He's great at making contested catches, but Tua doesn't want to throw it to a guy right now unless he's open. So that's why Ryan Fitzpatrick loves throwing to Devontae Parker, but Tua never throws to him, right? So I think this year, if Tua is allowed to really unleash himself and play freely, then he has a chance to be great. But if that just it's possible that it doesn't work out. You know what I mean? Anything's possible. He's obviously talented, but it is the NFL, and you never know how a guy's going to translate. But I think if Tua has the time and the freedom to really unleash himself, he could become a very big player in the NFL.
Love it. And again, couldn't have been more spot on.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling, Crimson.
Absolutely.
You've been spot on with everything. Again, I hope for your sake and everyone else's sake out there, that Syracuse Nation, Syracuse fans out there, I hope that we see Syracuse hold on to this ball game. I'll even give you guys that
Absolutely.
one.
Thank you.
There we go.
I'll give it to you. But
They
if they
should.
lose those,
They
those
should.
shirts,
That'll be a
you guys have the rest
disaster.
of the tournament.
And Frank,
Hey, Spencer, I just want to say, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate you supporting us over here and supporting me as one of my good friends as well.
Always.
Shout out Fumble Brewski. That is Spencer's podcast during the NFL season. We're going to have to bring him on. I mean, he does his own podcast.
Absolutely.
One of his friends from Florida. They do all NFL coverage. So
I like that. I was gonna say we're always looking for people that, again, I feel like the Dolphins are a team that, again, there's a lot of hype around them. Some media.
Here, we wouldn't talk about, so Spencer would be a great guy.
Absolutely, man.
We talk a lot of Patriots, and AFC East.
I know.
The Bills and the Jets. We have knowledge about.
We don't have to.
Yeah, don't worry. I have a feeling we'll definitely talk again in the future.
I'm sure. I'm sure we will. But we appreciate the call, obviously, Grimsby.
All right, Spencer. Thank you again.
All right. Go Chiefs. Have a good night.
Thank you for calling. Love you,
Thanks,
brother.
man.
Hope you're staying safe.
Perfect. So again, he was one of the better callers we've ever had. Again, we're looking for people to call. I know we had a few people call during that last call that we just had. So if you were calling, I believe it was a 202 number. You can call back here at the same call. The number is 1-800-387-6355. Again. Oh, here we go. Who's this?
I think it's Frank's friend Bailey.
What's going on, Bailey? Welcome to the Pig Vault. Oh, hold on. I'm going to try to make sure the audio comes over. Bailey, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. Are you here?
We can hear you now. What's
good,
going on,
man?
Bailey?
I can't really hear, but
Not much. How's the
There we
kickball going right now? Appreciate being on with the boys right now. This is a momentous occasion for you all.
Oh, I'm happy you called in. We've been waiting for this call. I know you called a few times. We tried getting you on earlier, but we're having a few little technical difficulties here. So thank you for calling back, though.
Of course. I'm always glad to be a part of the content. I'm always glad to be a part of anything going on with you all. You guys have a great platform going on. How's the night going for you guys? How's the betting going?
Ooh, honestly, man, it's a little bit of a sore subject right now. There's a couple tough beats. You got Ohio State. That was tough. Purdue. Seems like the Big Ten's been killing us a little bit today, but I have a feeling it's been killing really everybody. But
I mean, Bailey, as long as Q's wins, everything's all right.
Right. I guess everything's going to work out fine.
Hey, we got to keep applying that pressure. Q's just has to know how to play that, that press defense. I feel like a lot of teams are pressing right now, and it's being a hard time on everyone. But Q's just has to know how to play. Like Buddy Boeheim's hitting shots. Jim, they're all hitting shots right now. It's ridiculous. Oh, I got Kellen right here too. We're enjoying the night. This is a pickball. We're on live with a pickball right now. You got anything to say, Kellen? Who's the hell?
What's going on, guys? Does your boy have a question too? Hey, the more the merrier.
Hey, who is this?
I can hear like bits and
Who's this before?
This is Dan. This is Dan. I'll be honest with you.
All right. Well, hey guys. Hey, have a good night. This is Bailey. Kellen saying have a good night. Hughes is gonna win. Hughes by $1 million. Let's drink a zillion beers tonight. Like it is what it is.
All right. Appreciate the call, Bailey. There we go. Okay. So we're going to take one quick second. We're going to play a song for you guys and take one quick second here. If you guys need to go to the restroom or anything, do that now because we're going to try to quickly fix some audio issues we're having here. And I appreciate you guys being understanding about that.
What happened? Just like completely.
Games, yeah, Rutgers, yeah. My dad texted me that. What was Bailey saying? Dan, I heard you were running him. I couldn't hear what he was saying at all. I saw him texting Frank being like, I have great content. I heard that part and that's when I cut out. I couldn't. They're taking some ugly shots, San Diego State. I'm not gonna lie. Matt, that's a sick shirt though. I will absolutely wear it. I'll wear it and I'll just be like Anthony Bennett, baby. Dude, that's huge. That guy shooting how bad he is, he's good. Mitchell for San Diego State. He's shooting 1 of 10. Check. I don't know if my mic was on. Oh, okay. They said our audio is still coming in. So our audio is fine. Oh, it was his.
All right, we are back here. Sorry for the inconvenience. Sorry for the delay there, but we're back here. And again, just to give you guys the quick update here, 17 minutes to go. Currently, the Orange from Syracuse lead 39-25, a 14-point lead. Again, in the second half. It's going to be tough for San Diego State to make a comeback here. 3-pointer up and 3-pointer no good.
They're just getting desperate. They're just chucking stuff up.
Well, again, that's the one thing you kind of got to do against the zone defense.
Yeah.
And I agree. You kind of got to chuck. You got to make shots, and that's the one thing that's going to get Syracuse, in my opinion, either to make a run or not, is going to come down to if teams shoot the ball well against them at all. And here is a perfect example. We're just getting a call here, a New Jersey caller. So let's see who this one is. Hello, you're on the pick ball. Oh, I believe you're there. Hello?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
What's going on?
Who's calling? I'm sorry about that.
Hey, this is Andrew. I'm with Charlie. I just have a few questions for you guys.
Oh,
It's
Belly.
mostly focusing on the. Yes, hey Frank, how are we? Is that Frank?
What's going on, brother? Thanks
I
for
have a
calling
few
in.
questions. Of course, I have a few questions. Mostly revolving around Syracuse. I guess first, how do we feel about Jim Boeheim? I know there's mixed reviews. Some people love him, some people hate him. What do you guys think? How's the board feel about Jim Boeheim?
This sounds like a planned question, I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to send it Matt's way because I know Matt loves talking about Boeheim, not only as a basketball coach, but as a human being and his morals and what he has done in his past.
Yeah, off the court as
Listen,
well.
all joking aside, yes, I've been joking around with you guys. Jim Boeheim, we know. Jim Boeheim is Jim Boeheim. He's a good coach. He's been a long-term coach. I just think it's bullshit, to be honest with you. And that's just me to be honest. I think it's bullshit. He got kind of swept under the rug. I think him and Tony Stewart did the exact same thing, which was, accident or not. Yes, it was an accident. At least, reported it's an accident.
Yes, it was an accident.
It was. The investigation was done by the Syracuse Police Department. That's all I'm going to say. But an accident nonetheless. And he did run somebody over, and I'm sure he's probably sorry for it. But that's what we'll say about it. I know that's probably what you're looking for.
So I hear it. I'm Charlie. What's good?
What's
So
good, man?
basically, my question is so I am a famed or notorious hater of the 2-3 zone and think that Jim Boeheim should be using man from time to time and throwing different looks. And I think that, like, for example, Virginia game that Beekman hits the game winner, right? He's wide open because the 2-3 zone allows that. What are your thoughts on him not like switching from his history of just only sticking with that 2-3 zone?
See, I said it about 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about it. I said it 2 weeks ago. I think if I was Jim Boeheim, and I clearly am not, and again, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know more basketball than Jim Boeheim. I clearly don't. He's a great basketball coach. He's winning the game here. But what I will say about the 2-3 zone is it's limited. You limit yourself only playing a 2-3 zone. Just like if you only played man, you'd limit yourself that way. And so they pick it up in other areas. They play, fast on the defensive side of the floor, and they obviously focus on their shooting so that they could let the other teams, score points. The thing is, especially in the ACC tournament, you touched on, Virginia. You touched on it all. When you're playing against teams you play consistently, and Virginia is one of them, where they played against the zone a number of times back to back, years after years, especially with the same coach. Or, you look across and you see Roy Williams in the ACC. You see Coach K in the ACC. And so these coaches that played against the 2-3 zone for long periods of time, they kind of have figured it out. It still works. I mean, we see Syracuse winning this game here. It still works. But I think, and you're asking me my opinion on it, yeah, I think it limits your ability to change the lookup 100%, and teams know how to scout you. I thought, and I think moving forward, if I am Jim Boeheim, I probably practice a man-to-man or some sort of version of a man, even if it's a sagging man that you want to play a little bit of zone. I'd focus on that, because heading down the stretch in the tournament, any team that's going to play you is going to prepare for a zone. And if you came out there in a man-to-man, you are totally you're going to F their entire game plan and throw them off completely, because for years and years and years, right, Jim Boeheim has never changed a thing.
Right. Well, I guess building off that question, Andrew's there backing up for the next question. I guess building off of that, yes, I suppose when you're playing ACC teams who are familiar with the zone, they kind of know how to practice against it. They kind of build a game plan to come against that team. But when you're playing in the tournament, obviously things are different. You're playing, for example, playing SDSU. We haven't played them in years. Last time we played them was what? On the tanker ship, no? Yeah, we haven't played them in years. That's just one team, for example. A lot of times we're playing teams that aren't in the ACC. They're not familiar with the zone. Syracuse has a very specific way of playing the zone. It's something that you're not going to find against any other team.
What's so specific about it?
How do you prepare? It's the coveted 2-3 zone by Jim Boeheim. No team.
That's like saying it's water by Poland Springs. That's like saying it's water by Poland Springs. It's still H2O. It's still a 2-3
all right. Well,
zone.
you say water by Poland Springs. I say water by Dasani. They're two very different things. I think we can both agree with that. You got Dasani water. I have Poland Springs. The quality is very different between the two. The quality is very different between the two.
I don't know what your name is, but you just fucking roasted it. Honestly, that was sick. Roll cues, baby.
No, I'm with the man that's talking about the 2-3 zone being inefficient and throwing other.
Yes, well, that's not. My name is Andrew. I'm the Dasani versus Poland Springs. I'm a big Syracuse supporter.
Not aficionado.
No, I'm all for.
All I'm saying, I'm a big aficionado of the 2-3 zone by Jim Boeheim. Teams. Granted, we're playing SDSU. They haven't seen the 2-3 zone that's similar to Syracuse all season. How do you prepare against the 2-3 zone? And if Syracuse does win this game, how far do you think they make it in the tournament, just based off the defensive ability of this team?
So one thing, we'll talk about Dasani water. We'll talk about Jim Boeheim, and you're saying you love it because it's by Jim Boeheim, and that's fine. My response to that would be this. How do you prepare for it? You go watch the past 40 years of Jim Boeheim defensive tape, because nothing's changed. So even if it's a Jim Boeheim special that you're calling and you're saying he plays great defense and it's a Syracuse brand, go watch the Syracuse team for the past 40 years, because the same defense. So even a team that doesn't go up against it on a normal basis in the ACC has an opportunity to see another team, especially now with technology. They're able to watch, pause. You're pretty much there watching film. So, that's what I would do to prepare against it. And I'm sure that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, you would expect that, but San Diego coming in as a 6 seed is down, 13 points right now against this zone? You can look at all the footage you want, but when you're playing against it, it's a totally different field than watching against it. I'm just saying, how far do we think Syracuse is making it in this tournament? It seems like I don't want to jinx myself. It seems like Syracuse has this game so far. Granted, there's still a whole other second half.
Definitely a lot of time left.
in this
Definitely a lot of time left. I'm not going to say that they're going to win yet, but if they were to win this game, I think.
Andy, are you nervous right now? You have Syracuse up 13. You're a little nervous right now. You're a little nervous right now.
We're talking hypothetical. He's asking
Fair,
how they
fair,
can go.
fair.
So I'm talking hypothetical. I don't want to jinx it. That's why I'm saying if they were to win this game, I don't want to jinx it myself.
Fair.
If they were to
Yeah,
win
a big
this,
if. A big if.
Yeah,
No one wants to jinx it.
a big if. I mean, big if.
I want to jinx it. I want to jinx
They're
it
struggling right now for sure a little bit. San Diego State's making a little run
because that defense hasn't changed all game.
It's 11 now. It's 11 now.
I think the ceiling for this team, depending on how the bracket falls, a team like Rutgers right now has been on a run. If they win today, I think Rutgers and/or Clemson, the winner of that game, takes
I
down
think they go
Houston, no matter who it is. And I think Syracuse has a chance to beat West Virginia, honestly. They're a big offensive team. They don't play defense. I don't know how big of a Syracuse fan you are. You're a 2-3 aficionado. Not sure if you're an orange aficionado, but if you are, you know that we suck at offense every year, and that defense is usually our calling card. So the fact that we're an offensive team.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Our offense is better this year. We're what?
This is the best. This is the best offense
this season.
This is one of the better
Top three in offensive season. We're averaging what, 89 points.
This is one of the better offenses me and Frank have had since we've been a part of the Orange program, the alumni, or being a student. And I mean, just seeing them play the way that they are, we've got to play defense. So it's definitely tough, but I don't know.
I mean, I will say again, Andrew Balliet is a local Syracuse.
Oh, he's a fucking talent.
I didn't want to say the word, but
what do you go to Lemoyne?
He's a townie. He's a townie.
Nah, he has grown up on Syracuse basketball his whole life, so I'm sure that he understands.
So
exactly
that's why he has
game.
a love and a dedication for the Jim Boeheim defense.
Well, I'll be honest. The
as he
only thing
should.
with Jim Boeheim, and you guys could get a top recruit if you didn't play zone. No one wants to go to Syracuse because no one wants to play the zone.
A top recruit if we didn't have sus.
And because it's winter out there.
Yeah, I mean that I guess that too. But you got kids going to Gonzaga. They have no. I don't even know where Gonzaga is, to be honest with you.
It's
Is
on
that
the West
Cali?
Coast.
It's in Cali. It's in Cali.
It's in Washington.
Yeah, Washington. Oh yeah. Would you rather go to Washington or Syracuse?
Well, I mean, if you live on the West Coast,
I mean, if you're coaching under Mark Few, you want to go to Washington. Depends how good the team. No, you want to go to Gonzaga. All right. So Charlie here, back on me. I have a question because I think this is a relevant question that obviously we've seen Buddy Boeheim drop 20-something points right now. Do you think that this Syracuse team is too reliant on him? If he has one bad game, they're screwed? Or do you think that this team can actually score outside of him? Because I mean, so far he has 20-something points. If he doesn't shoot well, I feel like this team is screwed. Even if the 2-3 don't work perfection like it has so far.
Yeah,
Buddy for three.
Just hit a three
Again, he says that.
Sorry, he's carrying us again to Sturco.
As he hits it.
As his back has a piano on, it's to Sturco. Sorry.
I mean, I will say, Charlie, I kind of agree with that. I think
I agree
over
with it too.
the last sort of stretch, I would say over the last 3 weeks, Buddy Boeheim has been absolutely electric, and he's been a very big difference maker and probably one of the best players in the ACC. And I think that
Consistent was too.
And again, consistently scoring points and hitting 3-pointers as well. I think it's important for Syracuse to realize that, as well as, over the past 3 weeks as well, they've been able to find versatility, I guess, in their bench players. Again, finding some of the guys on their bench that have been able to play again now that we have Jesse Edwards and Bobby Braswell on the floor right now. It's important to not be content with what he's been able to do, and that some of the other guys have to be able to play make as well. And okay,
you can be content with that.
All right, Charlie, we can be content with that.
Okay.
He's just not going to miss.
Oh my God! I wasn't looking at the screen. Sorry.
Yeah, he just keeps hitting them.
Hold on.
I'm gonna wear that San Diego State shirt to bed tonight. Don't worry. I'm aware, but I might do something bad to it.
Shoeless Petrillo.
Hold on. Shoeless Petrillo. This is Andrew back on the fall. I have a question. So yes, Buddy is playing. He's electric. He's lights out shooting. I guess this brings it to my next question. Say yes, he's building up a lot of hype. At the ACC tournament, yes, he made what? All ACC tournament player. Yeah. So let's say he continues his hype. Let's say maybe a few NBA teams pique some interest. Let's say he gets drafted off of this season. I know Jim Boeheim was big on staying for Buddy's, completion. Buddy's a junior right now, if I'm not incorrect. Let's say he leaves. He doesn't. So this brings me to another question. Let's say he doesn't play for his senior year.
He gets drafted. He goes to the NBA. He goes to the G League. He leaves Syracuse after his junior season. I know Jim Boeheim was supposed to leave after Buddy graduates. If he leaves early, aka after this year, do you think Jim stays for another year? Do you think we open up the opportunity for a new coach to come into Syracuse? What do you guys think about that?
Maybe not play. I would root for that because then maybe you guys won't play a zone. I think I'm behind that. I like everything you just said there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Andrew. And this is something that we've gone for before. And again, I completely forget his name. The coach is now at Washington.
Mike Hopkins.
Speaking of Washington,
Right.
it looks like he wanted to go to Washington over Syracuse.
No,
that clears that up for me.
Don't get me wrong.
Thank you.
Hopkins had
Thank
one good
you.
year. Hopkins was a great recruiter. He was big in pulling kids into the system. However, now that he has his own head coach position, he was great in his first year at Washington. Washington lately, I mean, no offense, they've been down the past 2 or 3 years. Yes, he brought a few kids in. Yes, I think Isaiah Washington took from Isaiah Stewart. Yeah. Isaiah Stewart, he took from Syracuse. We're looking at him. Hopkins took him with him to Washington. Yeah, they did fine that season, but how does that transition? Let's say Buddy leaves, Jim Boeheim retires. Who do we have that can really recruit kids? I mean, we just lost
if Buddy
Johnson.
leaves,
What do you
if
say
Buddy
about
leaves
that?
and Boeheim is gone, you lose all your killer instinct.
I mean, yeah, I think that's kind of the point
Good
that
one,
you were
man.
getting
You
to.
got
Is
us.
that
You got all of us, dude. Good one, man.
Right. Again, but I think internally, I don't think that they have an answer. I think that we came across that road before with Mike Hopkins, and the opportunity, I guess, wasn't there because obviously Jim Boeheim wanted to stay. He was frustrated with that and left. So I would think that we would have to look externally for that. And realistically, I'm not sure exactly where we would go. Again, this is a program like we've all been talking about this entire stream, is that this is a team that has played the same exact defense for, the greater side of 4 decades. And that's something to where you have to look around and say, what identity do you want to have? We're moving on from this prolific coach who's been here for 40 plus years. Where do we go from here? I mean, you think about it, and as frustrated as some of us may get with Jim Boeheim and his defense at times, I mean, it is quite effective. And when you have guys that are able to fit in the zone, which I think we have pieces again, I don't like Joe Girard starting, which I think some of us
I agree.
share that opinion.
I definitely share the opinion.
And I know Charlie agrees with that opinion.
I peaked in high school too. It's fine.
Right. We have the length. We just don't play it for whatever reason. But, I mean, it is interesting to see where we'd potentially go from here. And it would be a big identity and culture shift. So, I mean, that really is a good question.
So I guess my question is to you: Who do you think follows Jim Boeheim? DMAC? Do we go externally? Do we say does Autry get a head coaching position? Does DMAC
I can honestly see
Nate
Adrian
Oates out of
Autry.
Alabama?
Adrian Autry, or maybe even I know McNamara is on the coaching staff still. I could see one of those two guys honestly being the next coach. Obviously McNamara is a former player, so you want to give him kind of the run. But Autry's been a coach there for such a long time. He has built so many great relationships with a lot of recruits most of the times. He's a great guy in the AAU circuit. I think he'd be great as the coach, honestly, but I just don't see them giving it to him at that time. I can see, like you mentioned, you've been talking about Hopkins a lot. Washington sucked balls this year, and I mean, I don't think it was a contract year.
I agree. I agree.
I think if the Syracuse job opened and we were willing to bring him in, and I mean, if we kept the recruits we had, I'm sure a lot of guys want to play for him. He's a very likable coach, very likable guy. He brings in the 2-3 zone. He keeps those kind of.
Well, that was my question.
Hopkins is a 2-3 zone.
Okay.
Washington plays a 2-3 zone as well.
Would you want? All right, then I guess. But back to, do you want that? You want that?
He wasn't. He was going to be our next coach, and then Boeheim signed an extension a couple of years back out of nowhere. He kind of was expected to retire, signed the extension, and now he went to Washington basically because he was pissed off that he didn't get the job at Syracuse. So he went there, and maybe his contract runs up, and now he signs back with Syracuse. That would be the dream scenario, I believe, Andrew, honestly, would be getting back Hopkins. I don't know your thoughts on that, though. But.
Yeah. No, yeah, he said that for a sec, but I agree with. I also think that, and just this probably back on the phone. I think that Hopkins having the down year also plays into the fact that he was the main recruiter at Syracuse, and all his Northeast connections are as far as recruiting goes. And then he goes out to a school like Washington, which is out on the West Coast. It's hard to take a kid that's from New Jersey, New York, PA, wherever in the Northeast
Absolutely.
and tell them, let's go to Washington.
And
Let's
he
go to
has
a place
lots of-
where it
and he
rains
has lots of
in
ties
Seattle.
there. He has lots of ties on the East Coast.
Exactly.
He's a big East Coast guy. So if he was recruiting here, I'm sure he'd be huge.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think that they should go out of house just because I am not a fan of the 2-3 zone, and Frank can attest to my opinions on that.
I was gonna say, Frank,
I
do you,
think that
where do you
Porter,
stand with the
Porter
coach?
Moser from Loyola Chicago, a Porter Moser from Loyola Chicago, or like, I mean, I would love Nate Osenbama, but he just signed the extension. But yeah, listen, thank you for the call and letting us, vent about our Syracuse, our love for Syracuse, our hate for Syracuse, everything that has to come in between. We'll hop off now, but I appreciate the discussion. I think that
I got one last question actually for Andrew.
Andrew.
Is he back?
Hold up, let me run him real quick. All right, he's got a question for you. All right, he's here. He's here.
So I just wanted to ask again. We saw them play today. Again, a massive second half. I was just curious, Andrew, how far you think Houston can go, and sort of their potential and their outlook as a team.
Hey, Andrew.
He hates Houston.
And so Houston.
He hates Houston.
I was gonna say, I guess Houston, we may have a problem. I guess. Well, is that hello?
Well, that was, and honestly,
honestly, that was an awesome call.
Again, it was a great call, and people have been calling. So if you called earlier, we're gonna take a minute break from callers for a few minutes as this game comes down to the last quarter of the game, if you would. Currently, Syracuse with an 18-point lead, 48-30 over San Diego State with 11 minutes remaining. So, Andy, going to you here. Talk about what Syracuse has been able to do and what's been working for the boys in Orange.
What's been working for the boys? A list. Pros. Buddy Boeheim. Joe Girard. Cons. Everyone else. That's about it. They've been shooting lights out. The 2-3 zone has been absolutely stifling. I mean, that length inside. San Diego State absolutely looked miffed. I mean, I don't know what Matt and Dan were thinking back in them, honestly, or even thinking that they had a chance in this game right now. I mean, obviously, there's plenty of time left. They can come back. But not playing a 2-3 zone all year, it's a big thing. I mean, it's easy to say, yeah, we're going to do sick because we can watch some film on Jim Boeheim's zone. But it's also tough when you're actually in the moment. I mean, guys like Jesse Edwards, Robert Braswell, Kadari Richmond, there's not much film on them because they just recently got into the rotation for Syracuse. So this team is built different. They're not the same team that you watched in the beginning in December and January. They're a different team, and people like me and Frank saw that team. And like we were mentioning, I think we were fairly unseeded. We were unseeded. I think San Diego State was too. And it's unfortunate these two teams had to meet in the first round because San Diego State's a team that deserves probably around the 32.
What's up?
Probably a spot in the round of 32. I don't know about you, Frank. I mean, I don't know how much you've watched San Diego State, but I know that they're a very good team. I've watched them a couple times, and they definitely deserve probably better than a 6 seed.
Yeah, I'd say so too. And again, when we look at it as a body of work, again, I guess we would say last year. I know that we didn't have a tournament last year, but San Diego State was one of the hotter teams, and being able to retain one of those guys, oh my god!
I
was gonna say, I think they lost.
We can miss.
San Diego,
The Orange are rolling right now.
Kadari
We're up
Richmond,
23.
Kadari Richmond
30.
is not a good shooter, and he's hitting threes. I mean, that's
13-1 run. I mean,
everybody
San
is
Diego,
hitting
I'll be honest though, San Diego State got a little desperate, I think, a little too early. I know the only thing you could do is just start chucking up threes, but I mean, they were shooting ridiculous threes with still 17 minutes left in the game.
I mean, it's about to be a 30-point game.
Oh my!
I mean, this is a rout.
They're just not missing.
They really are. San Diego State only has 30 points. That's ridiculous.
Good thing I Amazon Prime those shirts. We could send them right back.
I think you got to wear these shirts, you two guys.
I actually have a nice one.
It doesn't bother me. We each got one.
That's some good gear, honestly.
All I'm saying is, if you see Robert Braswell knocking down threes, it's a bad night to be an Aztecs.
All right,
that's all I'm saying. He's our 8th man off the bench.
He is a shooter.
Let's say this game is completely done, right? Do you guys think that is this the best we'll see Syracuse play all tournament? Is this like it? Is this the peak?
I mean, that's kind of tough because they're playing a really sick game right now. So you're basically asking us to duplicate.
Well, I'm just
or do better than what is.
No, I'm not asking you to do better. I'm just asking you to win the game. You got to come out next game now. Will you come out flat next game? I guess is my question.
I don't believe so.
I don't think we'll come out flat. I would not like to believe that, but You just never know. I mean, listen, people get nervous. You don't know how people feel in these games. I mean, we're playing West Virginia.
I thought this team was built different.
They are built different.
They are built different.
I mean, you're learning it right now, Matt. You clearly didn't believe that before this game. How's that 26-point deficit looking? All you talked about all week.
Trust me, I said before the game that Syracuse had the talent if they played their absolute best game, and I think we're seeing their absolute best game, to be honest with you. I didn't think it was going to be 30 points. No, but to be honest with you, think about how many shots. I want to see their shooting percentage, to be honest with you, the Aztecs. If you guys can pull that up.
I'll pull
because
it up.
they're shooting the ball very bad. And yes, it's a lot to do with the defense, but on top of it, they're just shooting the ball piss poor, which think about it. Syracuse, a team that relies on the three, that could happen to them next game. I mean, what's the difference between what we're seeing from, San Diego State today and what we could see from Syracuse 2 days from now?
So I have the numbers pulled up right here in the box score. Syracuse is shooting 52.6% from the
Unrealistic.
field, 54.5% from three, and we flipped to San Diego State. 24.5% from the field, 13.3%.
Not to interrupt you, but we might be getting a call from the OG, the Sharp Analysis